no limits, no boundaries. I see increase all around me. Say no limits.
Senior Pastor Pastor James C.Wells is the senior pastor of Power of the Resurrection Church. As founding pastor and spiritual leader, Pastor Wells provides guidance and direction to congregants and is a significant advisor to many in the community. Pastor Wells and his wife, Reverend Dr. Patricia Wells, founded Power of the Resurrection Church in 1991.
I don't know how many of you have had a new car, bought a new car, purchased a new car. But one of the things about a new car is this. When you get a new car, it has a warranty. And that warranty says that if anything goes wrong with this car or the things that are contained in the warranty, then we will fix it or repair it. Amen? There's a purpose for a warranty. It's a guarantee that they'll take care of it. And one of the things that, especially about a new car, if it's a Cadillac, you don't want to take it to a Volkswagen because it might void the warranty. And you're certainly not going to take it to somebody that does not know anything about a Cadillac. And so, when that new car was made, doesn't matter what model, doesn't matter whether the Chevy, it has a purpose. There's a reason for that car existing. Amen? There's a reason for it. It has purpose. Now, follow me for a minute. Because I think we sometimes get confused. And we sometimes don't realize who we are. Follow me. We have a purpose. You were created for a purpose. You are not a mistake. The psalmist says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. I want you to hear me this morning because there are issues that we struggle with. And sometimes nobody knows what we're struggling with because it comes from fear, it comes from our lack of understanding who we are, it comes from lack of confidence, it comes from lack of being connected in a meaningful relationship, so we don't know who we are. But God designed you, and He said that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And listen what He said. He says, my substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lower part of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance. In other words, God knew you before you were born. He knew you and I before we were born. And when He formed us, He knew what purpose. He knew why He formed us. He knew that He had a specific purpose for you. Let me tell you how intimately God knows us. The Bible says He knows the exact number of hairs on your head. So if you ever had a problem with your worth and your value, you gotta know God knows. You have to know that you are somebody. Now, you have a purpose. You have a destiny. You have a work. You have a calling. You've been given abilities and gifts and talents. And He didn't give us a spirit of fear. So we find in this parable, I wanted to just give you that so you could have something to lean on and think about. But in this parable, Jesus teaches us that the kingdom of what the kingdom of heaven is like. See, can I just talk? The Bible says in John, it says, Jesus came down from heaven. Jesus is the second in the Godhead. God the Father, God the Holy Spirit. Right? Jesus came down from heaven. See, heaven is a real place. See, most people don't, let me say this, most people don't have that reality. Because in order to get that reality, it has to be spiritually discerned and perceived. In other words, you can get the knowledge of it through your intellect, but you will know the true existence of it until God manifests it in your heart through revelation and perception by the Holy Spirit.
Power of the Resurrection Church welcomes you. Our mission is to share the love and life, transforming gospel of Jesus Christ with all people.